There is something seriously wrong with how scrum points are being applied in Fantasy Super Rugby 2025. I mentioned this in my last video. I just wanted to make another video now to illustrate exactly what's happening in a bit more detail. I really don't know what's happening here. I don't know if it's bugged or if I'm just not understanding how it works. So if you do, please clarify for me. Now, if we look at the official rules page here, the relevant part is this: for scrum 1 outright, awarded to the entire front row, 3 points. This asterisk 3 here, that refers you down to this point here that says points only awarded to props and hookers actively playing at the time a scrum was won. So that should include any prop or hooker who is actually in that scrum when it is won, and that's fine, that makes sense, that's good. But what's happening is that the total points being awarded for scrums, they do not match the amount of scrums teams are winning according to the game stats. And not only that, not all of the front rowers are being given those same amount of scrum points despite being in the same amount of scrums. Now that's probably pretty confusing, but we can illustrate it here using this Blues and Chiefs game as an example, but you'll see this in any of the games from round 1. So in this game, Blues, they won 3 scrums. Chiefs, they won 8. Both sides on 100%, so we know those are the numbers. Now, using the Chiefs as an example, because they've had 8 scrums, that means 24 points for winning scrums should be applied to the starting prop and their replacement. It should add up to 24 points, the total amount of scrum point. Same with the hookers as well. Now, if we've come over here, I've filtered this down to just the front rowers for the Chiefs. If we look at Ollie Norris, he started the game. He's got 9 points for scrums won outright, which implies that he was only part of 3 winning scrums out of the 8. That would be fine, but now if we come down here and look at Aiden Ross, who replaced Ollie Norris in about the 57th minute, he hasn't been credited with any scrum points whatsoever. So there's 5 total scrums worth of points missing here. There's 15 points for scrums won that have just disappeared for this position in this game. Now, if we look at George Dyer as well, he was replaced by O'Neill, I think around 68 minutes. George Dyer, he's been credited with 18 points for scrums. That means he should have been part of 6 scrums that were won in total in that game. That means there's 2 more scrums that should be on O'Neill, who replaced him. O'Neill should have 6 total points awarded for scrums, but we can see here he's got nothing. He's basically just got 1 point for getting on the park. Now what about Brodie McAllister, the hooker? He was replaced later by Bradley Slater, I think very late in the game. Brodie McAllister, he's got only 3 points for scrums. That means he was only a part of 1 scrum which was awarded points. We look at Slater, he's not credited for any scrums at all. What happened to the other 7 scrums worth of points? Was there no hooker in those 7 scrums? Of course there was, and it had to be one of these 2 players. What's going on here? It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up for the props, for the hookers, for anybody. And even if these game stats were wrong, even if there weren't 8 scrums that were credited, you can see it still doesn't add up across the positions or across the players. There's just been an uneven amount of points awarded, when it states clearly in the rules here that it should be awarded to the entire front row. So I don't know what's going on here, guys. Something's fishy. It's not just for the Chiefs. It's not just for this game. You can Do the same thing for any game. Go and compare it to the stats and you'll see none of it matches up across any of the games, any of the players. Let me know if you know what's going on or if you find anything out. And until then, I'll see you next time.